Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Okay, so I'm going to stay on this subject, and actually, I'm going to be talking about the insecurity of men because the more I analyze my past relationships, and especially like present day or from 2020 until present day, it's just it's more alarming and a little scary with the expectations men have for women, but then the few expectations that they have for themselves. But while they have the low expectations of themselves, they want women to praise them and look highly on them, and or jump and make them a sandwich or bend over to take in their seed when a lot of them aren't able or capable of taking care of children, or they just want the kids as a flesh seed of their ego, an extension of themselves, so that they can brag about. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to talk more about the insecurities of men today. Yay. And if this isn't you, then pass it on to somebody. Like, because I know some men are going to be listening. Like, that's not me. Okay. Yeah, it might be someone you know. It might have been your father, your grandfather, your uncle, your cousins, or one of your classmates or best friends, so called friends, fake friends, the person down the street, a neighbor, your bus driver. It could be a coworker even. You never know. So it's like I ended up dating so many of them, and it's like I have guesses on why, because like I said in my part one, my bubbly personality, a lot of people take advantage. And at first I thought, oh well, they just need some cheering up, they just need some happy or whatever. But then it was like, no, they see me as prey, and they're the predator, and they're just trying to suck up some of my happiness for them to be feel better, for their ego and stuff like that. So yeah, you learn a lot about humanity and how awful they can be. So back to insecurities. Yay. With some of the men that I've interacted with, because you already know about Mr. Snodgrass that I mentioned in part one. And then I've mentioned so many times, but right after I finished my bachelor's, this is, I think, right before I ended up working at the zoo. Yeah, now I'm trying to remember what order, but it was like I just got accepted to start my first master's. I was so excited. And this one guy, that he said he was so interested in me, and I remember when he found out that or when I told him I finished my bachelor's and everything, it's like he kind of had attitude about it, but it's I'm trying to remember exactly because and I keep going back and stopping or whatever, because part of me is just like, there were some red flags, but I think like a lot of women, sometimes when we get excited, or especially my my mom brought us up in a very conservative church and everything like that, and she would always tell me, especially since 10th or 11th grade, as long as you walk like that, no one's ever going to want you, love you, or marry you. And so that's another guess that I have with why I ended up with the men that I dated or whatever, is because I kept feeling like, since I walk like this, I don't deserve the best. Since I walk like this, no one of quality is ever going to want me. So I'm going to have to downgrade and settle with like what I can settle with, or who I can settle with, or whatever. And so, yeah, I saw red flags with him, but I kept saying, well, something's better than nothing. My mom said no one's ever gonna love me, which then it she didn't realize that always made me know that she was never gonna love me. That she never loved me, because she died now of cancer. But and some people are like, oh, that's harsh how you said it, but it's even on her deathbed, she never apologized to me. And went like, yeah, with the gray sheep episodes, that's part of the episode I was gonna kind of start talking about, because I keep hearing about a lot of parents having their YouTube channels about how their kids don't want to see them or talk to them, or how they're blaming the child because it's the child's responsibility and they need to get over whatever harsh things they did or said. They did it out of love or whatever. My mom used to tell me that she would tell me all the harsh, horrible comments because God told her to, because the Lord told her to, and that it's like if she didn't tell me, then I was gonna end up alone with nobody, and no one was ever gonna care about me. But do you hear that? Like she said, she kept saying no one, no one. Instead of saying like a husband, a potential husband or boyfriend or anything like that, she kept saying no one. No one's different than a man or husband or boyfriend or whatever type of relationship. No one is different because no one eliminates everyone, including her. And so when it came to dating, I kept feeling, I know that I kept dismissing red flags. I kept saying, something's better than nothing. Something's better than nothing. And I think my anthropology minor is working in more ways than one. Yay. But with a lot of men who are very insecure, they look for women like me because I was insecure with who I was going to be able to match with. I know my type of guy. And even my list of standards, that's not exactly who I want. That's not exactly who I want, but I get so much hate from men because either my political views, and a lot of men who tell me politics don't have anything to do with relationships, marriage, and stuff. But at the same time, do you know how many women are divorcing their current husbands now because they voted for the orange guy? Even though some of them admit that they voted for him again, but now they say he went so far that they can no longer, et cetera, whatever. And or it's crazy how a lot of men have the nerve to tell me that politics have nothing to do with marriage and things when, especially if they're not black, you know, interracial marriage is a political thing, right? And I've had some men tell me I'm stupid or I'm wrong or whatever, but then when I pull up the case of love versus, it's like I forgot the whole like, but yeah, it's like I know they're like oddly enough like ironic, or I don't know, it's cute, but yeah, it's like love versus, it's like the interracial marriage. I think it was out like in Alabama or Mississippi, something like that. But and I'm thankful for the internet. Yeah, it's like a lot of you guys, a lot of you men, especially men who tell me who in the world would want a smart woman. You don't want a smart woman because you know you're always going to be wrong. You don't want a smart woman because you have no idea what you're talking about a lot of times. So you just want to be able to talk and yap and say different things, and you want the woman to just nod or say yes or do as you say just because. And you know, a smart woman, especially with cell phones, we're going to use technology the brilliant way, the right way, the correct way, and we are going to use like accurate websites. We're not going to go to sites like Fox News, Newsmax, and all that garbage. No, we are not, and that's my opinion. In my opinion, both of those, and there's so many other garbage ones, but those two specifically, in my opinion. But a lot of men out here, they don't want educated women because they just want us to nod and say, yes, you're so smart, even though they might be an absolute total idiot, even though they might be just horribly selfish and conniving and despicable. And I just covered part one of the over 40 reasons why I broke up with Mr. No Heart. One of the first things I talked about was how selfish he was. I hope he's no longer selfish. And one thing I kind of regret about the ending of our relationship, we never had a sit down so I can tell him why it was over. He blamed me. And the thing is, I would have told him everything, but If he was still too lazy to do the work for the relationship, I was done. He can find out from another woman. Or he can find out when woman after woman, after like so many women keep leaving him, because if he is going to treat them the same way he treated me, hopefully he will catch a hint, because he is one of the most selfish men I have ever met in my life. And with part one, with the whole working and everything, it's crazy how many men tell women they don't want them to work, but then at the same time have their hand out for gas money, have their hand out for them wanting the woman to go and either cook, like buy the groceries and cook dinner, and or go to the fast food place and buy not just dinner for the woman and the man, but also his kids. She doesn't have kids, but he has kids, and he wants her to buy the food for them too. Yeah. hmm And he says that she has to love his kids, but the kids don't have to like her. But yeah, you've already heard. Yeah, I have so much more to say on that subject, but I'm only going to slide through that for a quick minute. But that's insecurity, that's selfishness. And also, near the end of that relationship, I kept telling him, like the last 2 years, because throughout the relationship, I would ask him, please don't only call me on us, like especially like Saturdays when you think it's taking me too long to get to your house because you want me to sleep with you. You want me to pick up dinner. You want me to like spend money or do something for you. Those are the only reasons he ever called me. Either his vehicle got repossessed so he needed money or something, or to borrow or whatever, and or he was hungry and he didn't have cash, or sometimes he did but hardly ever. And like usually he would only like treat me would be when he knew I was upset with him and I was at a point where I was close to wanting to break up with him. And it's just annoying because, like I said, it's like if you're only going to call me when you want me or need me, and I literally kept asking him, please just start calling me more, or call me when you don't need something. Can you call me just to see how I am? Like, because even when my mom died, and it's like before the funeral, or it's like family was over, but I needed just a few minutes, I would, it's like he would never call me. I would never get a missed call from him unless he needed something. Oh, unless other than the Saturday, are you coming over? My mom's funeral was just a couple days ago, and we have family here. Are you serious? Like he didn't want anything else though. Once I said like I'm still dealing with this, he was done. He was off the phone. He could have cared less. And after my surgery, refused to call. Refused to call. And I think like because surgery was January and February, I'm still letting him know that hurt. Like you refuse to visit me. I invite you over for like Super Bowl Sunday and like the one of the Saturdays after that. So because I want to see you, I haven't seen you in like 3 months. And that's when the whole phone strike situation happened. I told that 2 or 3 parts story or whatever, but it's just like a lot of men out here are selfish. A lot of men out here, they only want to date a woman so that they can use her either for her body, her money, or take advantage of her in some way or the other. And then if they get bored with her, or if the woman doesn't like stimulate their sexual hormones or whatever, they'll cheat on her, but then they blame the woman. You didn't do this, you didn't take care of me. You need to start being different. It's like we don't have this enough, or you don't do this, or it's like I want you to do kinky stuff. You don't do what I saw in these videos. And it's just like Oh, I'm the reason why you have gas in your car. I'm the reason why you have food in the refrigerator that's not from the can, the box, or it's like you actually have produce and things like that. I'm the reason why it's like your house isn't covered in dust. I'm the like so many men, it's like they take advantage or they don't realize how much either their girlfriend or wife does for them until they don't have it anymore. I repeat, until they don't have it anymore. They still try to blame the woman, but yeah. And it's like, I would just say, like, guys, if you're going to try to tell a woman how she should live her life, that woman is not for you. Like a lot of you men do not date for compatibility. You don't try to date a woman that's trying to live a life that matches yours. Most of you just like, do you know, like this year alone, I have had mm, 5 to 7 men ask me to be their girlfriend. Over half of them, it was the same night. The same night we matched on the app. The same exact night that we matched, and these aren't catfish. Oh yeah, I have, I think, excuse, like 2 new catfish too, and I have like 8 more catfish episodes. I need, like, they're buried in my phone, so I'll get to them when I get to them. But yeah, this catfish is entertaining and interesting. It's so bad that he's matched with me on more than one dating app with the same name and credentials and everything, but he screams like catfish. He screams catfish. And the questions and like, oh yeah, because in less than 5 messages, he's asked me to go take it to either Signal or that other app. Well, there's 3 apps or communication apps that the catfish try to take you to as soon as possible. And yeah, actually, I think I might have 4 catfish now that I think about it. Because there's another one, I think, is like I was really dry with him. And so, like, because I'm not trying to invest too much of my time with them. I try to just get on their nerves enough and then let them block me. I was going to experiment with it and just see how much can I get out of them, like information wise, because I was like, "Ooh, if I can pass this any of this information on to investigators and everything." But I'm not superwoman, and like I'm still trying to figure out my life right now, especially I'm I'm not I'm kind of newly diagnosed, but I'm not new. Like, I'm still figuring out my disability. It's like it's been about 4.5 years since my diagnosis, but I'm still like, I almost every other month I'm learning something new about my disability. So it's like trying to finally finish part one, like my novel. It's been under construction. So many, like, I think I wrote something amazing, but then I'm like, it can be better. It can be better. It can be better. And that one reason of that is because my dating nightmares and my mental health with and the gray sheep. Well, this is going to be a gray sheep episode, but when my own mother like threatens to throw me out the house if she catches me trying to write my books and publish and stuff, to the point where I literally had to hide notebooks of my writing under the bathroom sink in different areas around like the house and stuff, places where I know she would never look. Yeah, yeah. And then I date guys, and when I tell them that I want to be an author, they tell me that's stupid, that's dumb, I better not do that. And especially black men, they tell me that's what white people like. They, oh yeah, with investing and writing books, that's what white people do. That's what nerds do. You better start learning how to be black. You need to be hood. I was like, I'm not gonna take you around my people or whatever, and then you're gonna be acting like this. It's like, I'm never gonna date a nerd. And but then when I tell them, okay, so that we're not compatible, why are you interested in me? They're like, oh no, you're dating me. That's another insecurity. Like, some men, they just feel like every woman is supposed to desire them. And especially like with my dating standards, I think I get so much trolling because men are so insecure, and they hate the fact that I have dismissed them. They cringe at the part where I have the power. It's like I have enough power to be like, I don't have to date you. I don't need to date you. I don't need to tolerate you. I am more happy alone than to be with you. And a lot of men don't. And that's one thing I'm just like, a lot of men don't realize you're supposed to date for happiness, date someone who you're compatible with. But a lot of men, they want a pretty face, and either it depends on their type, but it's only beauty. And then even like Republican men, especially, they tell a woman they're supposed to stay beautiful, they're supposed to stay pristine, but then they're aging horribly. Like, a lot of men age horribly. When I look at some of the men my age on dating apps, I'm just like, did you just give up? I mean, with my life, with my disability life, and no one believing me, people putting me down, and they're like, I've been depressed. I have been to the lowest of low emotions, but I refuse. Like, no. I'm like, what did you go through? Who? And it's alarming when I see men my age. It's just like, dang. Who? It's like, I almost want to learn their life story, but that means I have to match with them, and I don't want to match with them. I don't want to match with them. Mm-mm. But then a lot of men say that moisturizers and beauty products are only for women. Well, uh, um, you oh, I mean, it's too late for some of you now, but I would highly disagree with that. So some of you got like guys out there, Generation X, Y, and Z. Don't be scared to use moisturizer. Don't be scared to use sunblock. Don't forget to drink and hydrate, like drink water and stuff. I was like, some people are like, ooh, drink. Like, no, I was like, you know what I mean by that. Stay hydrated. It's like, hydrate your skin, moisturize, moisturize. It's like, be careful with how much sun you get, because especially with a certain demographic of you guys, that sun does damage real quick. So be careful. Be careful, okay? Okay. But it's just with some of the dating apps, it's so crazy how many of you guys are so insecure. And with my list, if you don't like, especially the Republican man, in order to try to defeat me, I have 2 or 3 cars. How many cars do you have? And it's like, oh, I don't have a house yet, but I'm going to soon. How big is your house? I'm like, a house isn't on the list. A house isn't on the list. And if I said a house, it's like, I listed everything that men would hate about me. Why would I put a house? It's like, my ex, oh my God, okay. I kind of told part of the story, but okay. Here is like, I'm going to kind of expand on it a little bit, but also not say all of the same details. So yeah, you still got to catch up in other episodes or whatever. But with Mr. No Heart, when like I told you about the Christmas presents and how terrible he was, and he was so disgustingly selfish, where to the point where he would always want me to give and give and give, like, and loan money, because like when it came to like getting food and stuff like that, and but then also loaning money for when he needed to buy a new car because his truck broke down. But before the truck got broke down, it was being repossessed because he was behind on payments and things like that. But then he chose buying 420 over gas, 420 over food, 420 over a lot of things. But then 2 or 3 hours before he would go to bed for the work week, he would turn to me and tell me he did not have enough gas money to go to work for the week. Yeah. And then also, it's like he knew I was working one, two, three, four jobs at the same time. It depends on what year within the relationship, but I was always working. Like at the beginning of the relationship, it's like I was working. Yeah, it's like I was working one job, but yeah, it's like that didn't work out. So there was like 1 or 2 month break where it was like, okay, this is kind of stressful. Yeah. But after, like, once I started getting one job, then I got 2 jobs and 3 jobs. They weren't great jobs. They were terrible jobs, actually. But adding them all together, I was at least defeating the low self esteem things my mom was telling me. Because on top of telling me no one's ever going to want you, love you, or marry you, she was also telling me that no job was ever like, so I think she meant this employment and just with life. Because she said no job was ever going to want me, no job was ever going to hire me. It's like, and who would be crazy enough to want somebody that walks like me? And jobs told me, like, some of the jobs told me I need to just go to the hospital and get fixed and come back. My resume is so impressive, but it's like clients wouldn't take me seriously. But yeah, it's like that is going to be kind of the topic of one of the next Gray Sheep episodes is employment and stuff like that. And the horror stories of applying for jobs with a disability. And there was one Republican girl who, oh, she's a conniving, no good little, in my opinion, a conniving, no good little bigot who she is partially deaf. And so she has a hearing aid. But she was like, I don't need that as an excuse. They know I work hard. And it's like, you have a hearing aid, hon. And before, like, no one could tell. It's like you get to hide your disability. It's like you get to mention it later or something, but you get to hide your disability. It's different when you can't hide it any longer. And I don't know, it's like, if I can find the video, I think I might have saved it, I'm not sure. But it's her video was just disgusting and ignorant all at the same time. But anyway, with my ex always wanting to borrow the money and everything like that. And it's like from trying to find jobs, trying to find work, trying to save money to get a house. I was so close. But then, if you've been listening, you already know that my walking was getting worse to the point where every time I sat down, I would talk to my knee. I would be like, okay, I won't stand back up for another hour. Please just like, we're almost done with the workday. We're almost done. Yes, we have one more job to do, but it's a quick, it's only going to be for an hour or two. You're hardly ever going to have to get up. Don't worry, blah, blah, blah. It's like I'm literally talking to my knee. That's how bad the pain was. And my ex would just be like, as soon as you get a house, I'll get you a puppy. Some people might be like, oh, that's so cute. No, he wanted me to buy the house so he can move in. He wanted to take advantage of me again. He wanted to live in the house that I buy. That, yeah, he was gonna try to smooth everything over by, oh, I'm gonna get her a dog because she's always wanted a dog. So if I do that for her, she'll be quiet. It's like if I do that for her, I'm gonna be able to try to start leaving some of my stuff at her house, and then be like, oh, I might as well move in. But yeah, so in a way, it's a blessing that I was able to end things when I did. But thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too. And I need a part 3.